Welcome back, coaches, to 10 Questions With. We're really excited for our guest today, Corey Hart. Corey is a very valuable hitting coach in our organization. He's entering his third season at Buffalo. He's coached 2 years at High A Dunedin. He spent 10 years between Milwaukee and the Marlins organization, also in the hitting side, and had an 8-year playing career. So a ton of knowledge. He's been in our National Coaches Clinic a couple times. He knows hitting inside and out. We're really excited to have Corey Hart. Corey, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, TJ. Good to be here.
All right, man. Well, we're going to get right into it. So the first question comes from Blair. Are there any backyard net drills you like?
There are. I have my kids doing them right now. There's with the little resources. We do have like a little net outside, and there's one where it's kind of like a check swing drill, where if you're taking the normal swing, but just kind of trying to stop at the ball. And what that does is it really makes you deliver the barrel from the back side and not the front side. And if the front side goes, you'll definitely be able to feel it. And it really makes you control the way the barrel gets there. Another one maybe is putting a ball right underneath your head, right in between your legs, and call it cover up the ball with your back knee. It's just kind of a sequencing drill to kind of get the sequence going right, and letting the lower half start to swing as well.
Awesome, man. Next question from Blair. His players a lot of times they have difficulty loading and being on time. Like, can you talk to us about some tips on that?
Yes, that's kind of the key to hitting, really, is getting ready on time and getting into the back hip a little bit, loading into the back hip. Like to see a little bit of a hip coil in the front hip, like just kind of turning the front hip so that you can turn the back first. It's kind of making a negative movement to make a positive. Like if I told you to jump, you're going to go down first, and then you're going to explode into positive movement. It's kind of the same thing. You just a slight little turn in with the front hip, and it allows you to get into the back hip. One good drill for this is called a step back drill, where where your normal stance is, you kind of move your back foot up just a little bit, and then as you're loading or getting ready, you kind of step back step back, and then let that be your load, and then go forward that way. So.
Awesome, man. Next question comes from Matt. Bit of a long question, but basically, working with Lottie Jr. last year in Buffalo, what sort of things did you work on with him on hitting approach? And when he came to you, was it like a finished product? Or, what were some things that you guys worked on prior to him getting called up?
He was pretty much finished. We just talked approach most of the time, and he can tend to get steep in his work a little bit, like coming in too downward. The big saying is feel versus real, and a lot of players, they think that everything works down to the ball. I think that kind of levels them out a little bit. So we just kind of monitored him that way, but he's pretty much finished product, man. He's ready to go, and just little talks and listen to him. The beauty of him is listening to him talk about pitchers that he's faced, and remembering guys that he's faced, and remembering what they've done to him in the past. And it's next level stuff, man.
Awesome, man. Next one comes from Mike in Saskatchewan. He says, some hitters can pick up the seams really well on the baseball. Is there any tricks to picking up seams on baseballs that you can share?
I don't know if there is a trick, and I believe that some people see spin and some people don't see spin. And I think some people read trajectory and velocity, and but I think one key to try to learn to do that if possible is, when you're looking at a pitcher, you kind of have like your hard focus is kind of right on the pitcher, and then you kind of have a soft focus on the window that the ball is going to be coming out of. And then I think if you just can work on letting your soft focus turn to your hard focus over here, and really think about once he gets to where you're going, to try to really pick up the ball coming out of the hand, just to try to see it longer. But I don't know if everyone can see spin. That's a age-old question right there.
For sure, man. Next one comes from Raymond. With the leg kick becoming so popular with major leaguers, obviously kids are trying to copy their favorite major leaguers and the leg kicks. Is a leg kick something that you would recommend youth trying or doing at such a young age, or is that something that you progress into as you become more, aware of your body and what you're doing?
I would definitely think that you have to be way more aware of your body and able to do that. I wouldn't recommend it, especially for younger kids. I think that the more moves you do, the harder it is to get ready on time. And the more moves you do, the more things can go wrong. If I had to do it all over again and I was playing, I think I would have like some kind of little small knee tuck where, like we spoke about earlier, getting into that back hip and loading the front hip. If I turn that knee in just a little bit, kind of like abbreviated leg kick, it allows me to get my weight to the backside and kind of loads that front hip to deliver the back hip.
Awesome, man. Next question comes from Elijah. Going up to the plate, there can be a number of things that go through your head. Talk to us about what are the most important things you should be thinking about when you're heading to the plate?
Just knowing the situation. I think anticipation is a big tool to have, offensively or defensively, anticipating the situation that's going to take place. Knowing that if I have a runner on first base with no outs or a runner on second base with no outs, what's the situation going to be when I get up there? When I'm on deck and watching the hitter in front of me, am I going to be hitting with a runner on third with one out? And then what's my plan going to be there? Or am I going to be hitting with a runner on second base with no outs? But just knowing the plan, I think it allows me to have a better idea what the pitcher's going to do to me, and the approach that I want to take.
Awesome. Next question comes from Phil. Is there a specific swing of a player in the major leagues that you just see and you're like, wow, that's the way we should teach it to youth because that's the swing to emulate? Or, does everybody have their own swing in your mind?
I think everybody has their own swing, but I think that swings can be emulated also. For me, Christian Yelich, he has a really beautiful swing, and I was fortunate enough to coach him, and when he was an A-ball, and when he picked his foot up and put it down and took a swing, whether it was a dry swing or a T swing or flips or BP or the game, it was the same every time. And just the sequencing of his swing and the way everything works and how smooth it is, you can emulate a swing. I would emulate Christian Yelich.
Next question comes from Debra. You hear on the broadcast all the time players making adjustments. Is there a time where players make too many adjustments?
I think so. The old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it's a game of adjustments, so you have to adjust to the pitcher the way they're pitching you, and then they have to adjust and they have to counter adjust. So it kind of goes back and forth. But I think that I have seen where players have had great seasons and they want to be better, and they go and they develop some kind of habit that allows them not to be as great. And then they try to go back to what they were doing before, and it's hard for them to get back into that rhythm. And so, yeah, I think it could be a little bit too much to adjust at times.
Makes sense. Next question comes from Spencer. My son is a two-way player, but hitting is his clear strength. Should he attend showcase tryouts doing both, or just stick to hitting?
Yeah, I would try both. I would never limit yourself, because you never know. I see players all the time that sign as hitters and become pitchers, and then you just never know. I think to get as many irons as you can have in the fire, if he's good at both, and let him do both and see what's the best.
Yeah, for sure. Last question is going to come from TJ because I'm interested in this, and while I have you here, I want to ask you with all the changes to hitting in the last 10 years. I mean, just all the advancements and stuff. What's the one thing that has stuck out for you as like this is something that has changed the game?
I think just all the data that we get on these swings and the Rapsodo machines. You know, you can see the way the ball's spinning off the bat, and I think guys like me that's been doing it for a long time, it gives you the same information, but it's just another way to reach the player with it, you know, by showing them the analytical data of the swing and the way the ball's coming off. I think it's a good tool to use for players, just to give them an extra, hey, this is what I've been telling you for 2 weeks. Here's the data that proves it.
Yeah, that's got to be such a big resource for you coaches to just be able to be like, hey, I know I'm telling you this, but here it is right here. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's it. We really appreciate having you. I know the coaches will really enjoy that, and coaches across the country. Keep doing what you're doing, and we hope to be out on a baseball field soon. So, Corey, thanks again for stopping by, man. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.